I've been playing Ascendant.com for a while, yes, that's the actual name, most recently during the current open beta during Steam Next Fest. Developers call it a dynamic shooter, which is a little bit like an extraction game with objectives, battle royale elements, and in this case, a ton of 80s vibe. As I've done with many other extraction games on this channel, I want to examine what Midnight Society can learn and take from Ascendant.com to ensure that Deadrop is the best game that it can be when it launches in 2025. So without further ado, let's go. When I do these videos, you never know how they're going to go. Some of them are examining things that are really good in other extraction games. Others are, dodging the missteps of some of the other extraction games. Tarkov, I'm looking at you, even though it's the father of the genre. But in Ascendant's case, there's a lot that I love about this game, and it's not a pure extraction shooter. There's a lot of elements that make it unique. For example, there are respawns, a limited number of respawns at least. It feels a little bit like Apex Legends in its gameplay. Faster paced, a lot of fighting as opposed to some of the more slower extraction shooters out there. And if you watch this video literally just for some insight into Ascendant, I recommend it. Give it a try. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Again, it's very fast paced, a lot of fighting, good movement tech. It feels like Apex again. And I do recommend checking it out if it's something that interests you. I'm loving it. And at the end of the day, that's what video games are supposed to be. They're supposed to be fun. But the first thing that Deadrop and Midnight Society can learn from Ascendant is the dynamic objectives that Ascendant uses. So the actual core gameplay mechanic at Ascendant, which in Deadrop's case, it would not be this. There are objectives, there are biocores on the map. That's what they're called, almost like capture the flag, right? With a little different flavor. That every squad in the game, that's the actual objective. There's 3 of them on the map. Every squad in the game, their objective is to not only kill other players, loot up, all that stuff, but to try to get these biocores. So to actually get a biocore, any squad has to find it on the map. You do that by running a scan. So first you have to get to like this tower. There's multiple ones on the map. Scan the map for a biocore. It reveals itself. Go to that biocore. Start like this process which will let you actually obtain the biocore, which takes a minute and alerts all the other squads on the map. So this creates this push-pull offense-defense mechanic, which is really fun, right? It's like an event on the map. All squads are alerted, okay, Biocore A is being, I don't want to say extracted because that's not the word yet, activated, let's say. Then all the squads, can go to this area and choose, do I want to go for this Biocore right now and fight it out with the other squads for it? Once that minute or so goes by, it reaches 100%, that Biocore can then be transported, which means anybody in any of the squads can pick it up and try to get it back to their base where their team spawned. Once you get it there, which again creates this multiple phase and multiple different gameplay style, these battles where you're shifting to try to get this thing. First, you're trying to, just secure it and, defend it so it can be activated. And then once you pick it up, you've got to move it across the map. And then when you get to your base, you have to drop it off on your base and then sit there again and defend it. So it's this very interesting locate, activate, move, and then defend gameplay loop, which is a lot of fun. And I don't think that Deadrop should make this idea, the core of the whole game. But I think working this into certain maps, or like even if it's a random event, it only pops up at certain times, could create a lot of fun and diversity in gameplay. When this happens, like a random event or like a public event, it totally changes the way that match might play out. Again, and it's a lot of fun. It changes it just from a core battle royale or extraction game, because you have to make that decision. Do I want to go for this biocore? Do I want to get right into the fight and get aggressive? Do I want to wait for another squad to pull it out of there and try to pick them off? Do you want a third party? Do you want to wait for them to get back to their base and then try to pick them off? If you're the team trying to move it, of course you got to go kind of secure the zone, move it across the map, and then secure the zone again. It's a lot of fun. It changes the gameplay style, and I think it would be great to see that idea, not as a core gameplay mechanic in Deadrop, but just to see that implemented maybe on certain maps or as random events would be awesome. One thing that I really do like is that Ascendant.com has some interesting, almost rogue-like modifiers, which are different in every match. So not only like the dynamic gameplay with, again, the offense versus defense push-pull mechanic that I talked about, but when you load into a match, there's just different events, and it tells you what they are right at the start of the match. So in one match, a certain area of the map at random points will just be pumped full of gas, not like a sector shutdown mechanic. And some of these things can actually be player activated as well. Some matches, there's a certain power vehicle that spawns on the map. In this case, it's like a flamethrower tank in Ascendant's case, which is awesome. We've talked about in previous videos, you know, night and day variations, weather mechanics and stuff. Hopefully we see in Deadrop. We love all that. But I thought these modifiers were really interesting. Would like to see, you know, not only more in Ascendant, but maybe Deadrop also consider that, because it changes up the flow of the map or the match to have these variations where, you know, one match there's a certain thing going on, and then the next match there's a totally different thing going on. I think that's a great concept, and it's also a lot simpler than developing entirely new maps, right? So new maps take time, long amounts of time, long amounts of resources, but you can create variety just like the finals does through some of these things, but like weather and daytime and nighttime. I would love to see more of that. I think one of the other things that jumps out to me about Ascendant is that they know their audience and they know their niche, and they don't deviate from it. They're not scared to double down on it. And I really want Midnight Society to nail that, right? So in Ascendant's case, they've got a really fun 80s themed atmosphere. Everything drips neon colors and almost that over the top, ridiculous 80s vibe. You know, everything is exaggerated. They literally have 80s music. Some of it which sounds ridiculous in isolation, but in the game it works perfect. In the game, again, everything is neon colored and really plays on those tropes, and it works perfectly. And from the game design standpoint, same thing. You know, for example, this game has a very well-designed map, which does have a lot of verticality to it. It feels a little bit like an Apex map, like I said. Beautiful colors on the map, by the way. Visually designed very well, like everything else in the game. But there's no fall damage, you know, and they make that clear in the tutorial, right? Like, go wild, jump wherever you want to go. You can launch yourself off of cannons, like halfway across the map. They know what this game is, and they don't apologize for it, and that makes it really fun. And I want to make sure that Deadrop is the same, that Deadrop feels high risk, high reward, that the universe is that dark, gritty, seedy universe. You know, don't compromise on that stuff. You know, you can't please everybody, but if you can really please a certain audience, that's a winning ticket, right? And when I think of high risk, high reward gameplay, in my mind, we're talking about stuff like ledge grabbing, being able to take those huge risks and jump these crazy vertical distances and survive, or be humiliated and die, right? Not everything needs to be competitively balanced for esports or whatever. No other game, in my mind, maybe Insomniac's Spider-Man games, especially on the shooter front, had something like ledge grabbing, right? And it made the game instantly unique in Snapshot 5. Double down on that, keep it part of the game. And I know, I'm not saying they're not. They've been playing with it, tweaking it, bringing it back, all that stuff. But I'm just bringing it out. Know what your game is. If it's fun, if it fits in your game, if it's part of your core identity. High risk, high reward is Deadrop's gameplay identity. Double down on it. Don't apologize. Make it one of a kind. Don't be like the others. Next up is shops right on the map. I thought this was an interesting concept. Will there be in certain sectors, I guess sector's the wrong word now, districts, areas where you can head to a shop and actually, you know, through looting, maybe you pick up some currency or whatever, or items that you can trade. Not actual talking about cosmetic stuff right now, but actually purchasing other guns for the match right on the map, essentially, instead of just finding this stuff randomly in the environment. Is there going to be anything like that in Deadrop? I don't know. Interesting thought, interesting concept, just throwing it out there. Ascendant has an insanely deep character and weapon customization system built into it. One of the deepest that I've seen in a first-person shooter in a long time. You can essentially create your own skins, weapon skins with different patterns. It's almost like, you know, it's not going to be the most crazy advanced thing like you would get in Valorant, but all sorts of different patterns you can apply to your guns. You can customize the colors in numerous different places. And I know Deadrop is going to have, you know, a marketplace, so this particular piece might not be viable or, you know, play hand in hand. I don't really know much about Ascendant's monetization yet. And progression and all that stuff, but at least on the character front, their character customization is very deep. Tons of different clothing and so on. You can customize that clothing with patches that change the color schemes of it. It's really good. I would love to see more games adopt that. Obviously, you can still sell skins, right, which can be your coolest looking stuff, and you can have UGC, but just the basics. You know, taking a shirt, a certain shirt, a certain look, and just being able to change the color or the dye of it. Stuff like that is really good. That's it for this video, guys. We're straight to the point, calling out what we like about Ascendant and what Midnight Society can learn from it and implement in the Deadrop. We've been doing this with other videos and other games on the channel like the Finals, Helldivers, Hunt Showdown, and most recently, the Forever Winter. So check out all those. We really are interested in the extraction space and, how it evolves going forward and how Deadrop specifically can evolve it. And of course, if you want more Deadrop and Midnight Society content, be sure to subscribe to the channel because that's our mission. We're all in, all the way. Deadrop, Midnight Society here. You can also find me on Mayor Reynolds TV, my variety channel. And we're even filming. We just did on our next Deadrop short film, Midnight 2, Born Ruthless. We're currently editing, editing music, and making plans for release. So stay tuned for all that. As always, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Mayor Reynolds out. If you played Ascendant, by the way, let me know what you think of it down in the comments. Oh, and we just announced a 2 in the Barrel tournament for this weekend, so check out the 12 a.m. Discord for information on that. Play with us, maybe win some money, and a Viper UGC Showdown tournament is coming soon, so bye. This video is sponsored by Fortnite. Support a creator code MAYOR. That's all you got to do is plug MAYOR into your Fortnite or Epic Game Store. Support a creator slot. Whenever you make a purchase, and a portion of that purchase will go towards supporting my content. It costs you nothing. Just plug it in anytime you see support a creator in Fortnite or the Epic Game Store, and it will directly support my channel and help increase the budget for content like our live action Deadrop short film, Midnight, which you can go watch right now. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate the support. MAYOR in your supporter creator slot. Thanks a lot.